Greetings, boys and girls. In today's video, we are going to use one of my favorite strategies to divide large numbers by a two-digit divisor. All right, and that's called partial quotients. Partial quotients. Now, partial quotients is fun, and to me it's easy because I just think about taking out large chunks of the number. I'm breaking it into parts, okay? So if I can think of multiplying my divisor by 1, then doubling my divisor, and then multiplying my divisor by 10, and then splitting that 10th multiple in half, I am well on my way. Oh yeah, and don't forget, when we multiply by 10, we add a 0 to the end of a whole number. Okay, let's look at our first problem. We are seeing how many times does 16 go into 1,120? Or simply said, what is 1,120 divided by 16? Now, if my students were here, they would probably tell me I need my comma. So I'll just add it right there. So now that I'm looking at the problem, I want to think about some large chunks I can take out of 1,120. So to figure out the size of my chunks, I'm going to first think of 16 times 1. That's simply 16. Then I'm going to think of 16 times 2. That would be 32. If I doubled 16, 16 plus 16, it'd be 32. Now I'm going to skip 16 times 5 right now because I don't want to have to multiply by 5 yet. I'm going to actually multiply 16 times 10. And if you just remembered, multiply by 10, we add a 0 to the end. So I'm taking my 16 and I'm putting 1 0 at the end. Now that I have this 160, I'm going to think about dividing that in half. Well, I know that half of 100 is 50, okay? And then half of 60 is 30. So 50 plus 30 would be 80. All right. So half of 10 is 5, so 16 times 5 would be 80. Now I'm able to think about, the size of my chunks, the size chunks I can take out. Well, I know that I can take 16 out, I can take 32 out, I can take 80 out, and 160, but let me put 1 0 at the end of these and see if I'll be able to take that amount out as well. I put a 0 on the ends of these because now this 0 represents 16 times 10, 16 times 20, 16 times 50, and 16 times 100. Okay? Now I'm going to see which is the largest size chunk I can take out of 1,120. I can definitely take out 160. I can also take out 320. I can even take out 800. But I can't take out 1,600. So I am going to take out the 800. That's the largest chunk I can take out right now. Ooh, make sure that looks like a 0. All right, so now I'm going to do my math. 0 minus 0 is 0. 2 minus 0 is 2. 1 minus 8, I can't do that, but I can look at this as 11 minus 8, which would be 3. Now, on the side, I want to write, what did I multiply 16 by to get 800? Right here, I multiplied 16 times 50 to get 800. Alrighty, now I have 320. I want to see what's the next largest size chunk I can take out. I can see right here 160. And look, I also have 320. So I'm going to put 320 right down here. I'm going to subtract it out, and I get 0. Okay? And I'm thinking to myself, 16 times 20, it's right here, equals 320. So I put my 20 on the right of my bar, and then my quotient, the answer to my division problem, is simply 50 plus 20. And that gives me 70. So my answer would be 70. I can check my answer by using multiplication. I'm going to simply multiply 16 times 70. 0 times 6 is 0. 0 times 1 is 0. Come to the next row. I put my placeholder 0 because now I'm going to be multiplying the 7. 7 times 6 is 42. Write my 2 down here. Carry my 1. 1 times 7 is 7 plus 4 would be 11. Now normally I wouldn't put two digits in the same box, but 1,120 is what I got for that row. Now I'll add my zeros and my 1,120, and look, again, I got 1,120, which was my divisor, or my dividend. So my answer of 70 was correct. Yay! Now that we've done that problem, let's look at another one. Boys and girls, if I'm moving too fast, please press pause on the video. In our next problem, we're going to see how many times does 15 go into 573, or what is 573 divided by 15? Just like in our last problem, we're going to use my favorite strategy, which is partial quotients. Okay, I want to start with my multiples so that I see the size chunks I can take out. So I first think of 15 times 1. Ooh, that's easy. It's simply 15. Now I'm going to double it, or multiply 15 times 2. That is 30. Okay, I'm going to skip 15 times 5 right now, and I'm going to go directly to 15 times 10. Multiply by 10, add a 0 to the end. So I have 150. Now I'm going to break 150 in half. You know what? It almost reminds me of $1.50. And I know that if I had 6 quarters, that'd make $1.50. If I split it in half, I'd have 3 quarters, which would be 75 cents. So half of 150 is 75. All right. Now I'm starting to look at my numbers, and look, I have the 3-digit number. So I wonder, could I think about there being another 0 on these numbers? So if I if I added a 0 to 150, to 15, I'd have 150. A 0 to 30 would be 300. A 0 to 75 would be 750. And a 0 to 150 would be 1,500. So since I'd added a 0 to the end, I know that's really 15 times 10, 15 times 20, 15 times 50, and 15 times 100. My 50 looks hurt. All right, now I'm looking at my 3-digit number, 573, my dividend, and I'm seeing what's the largest size chunk I can take out. I know I can take out 150. I know I can also take out 300. Unfortunately, I can't take out 750. So I'm going to subtract out 300. $573 minus 300 would simply be 273. And I want to write down, what did I multiply 15 by to get 300? Well, I multiplied it by 20. So I'm going to put my 20 on the side. Now I have 273. And I want to think, what's the largest chunk I can now take out? I can definitely take out 150, but I can't take out 300. 300 is too large. So I'm going to take out 150. And when I do my subtraction, 3 minus 0 is 3, 7 minus 5 is 2, 2 minus 1 is 1, 1, 2, 3. Anyway, I'm thinking to myself, what did I multiply 15 by to get 150? Well, look, right over here, I multiplied 15 times 10. So I'm going to put 10 on the outside of my line. Now I'm left with 123. Let's see the next size chunk I can take out. 15 times 10 is 150. Ooh, that's bigger than 123. So I'm going to take off these zeros, the extra zeros I had, because I realize my numbers now are too large to have these extra zeros on the end. I simply need to look at smaller chunks. Now I can think of 15, 30, 75, and 150. Okay? So now of these, the largest size chunk that I would be able to take out would be the 75. So I'm going to put 75 right here. I'm going to do my subtraction. 3 minus 5, I would have to regroup, so that would be 8. That 2 turned into a 1. And I would have to regroup again, so that would be 11 minus 7, which is 4. I'm left with 48. Now, 15 times what equals 75? I look right here and I see it's 15 times 5. So I made sure that I put my 5 on the outside, because that means I was able to take 5 groups of 15 out. Now I have 48. Okay? From here, I see that the next largest chunk I can take is 30. Ooh, my 30 looks kind of sad. So 48 minus 30 would be 18. And I see that to get 30, I multiplied 15 times 2. So I write my 2 on the outside of my bar, and now I have 18. The largest chunk I'm now able to take is 15, and when I subtract it, I have 3 left over, and I realize to get to 15, that is 15 times 1. Now I have 3 left over. That is so small that it's smaller than my divisor. So this 3 is going to become my remainder. And my answer, my quotient, is going to be the sum of 20 plus 10 plus 5 plus 2 plus 1. And that looks like 38. So our answer is 38 with a remainder of 3. Just like before, I want to check my answer with multiplication. Now remember, I have a remainder this time. So I'm going to first multiply 38 times 15. 8 times 5 is 40, and carry my 1. 3 times 5 is 15, plus 4 would make it 19. I'm going to cross out my 4 when I get ready to look at this 1, which is in the tens place. I'm going to put a placeholder 0 in my ones place because I'm really multiplying 38 times 10. And I can simply write 38. Because 38 times 10 is 380. All right, I'm going to now add my two products. 0 plus 0 is 0. 9 plus 8 is 7. Carry my 1. 1 plus 1 plus 3 is 5. And then I need to add my remainder. 570 plus 3 is 573. And I ended with the same divisor, the same dividend that I started with. So I know that my answer is correct. So the answer to 573 divided by 15 is 38 with a remainder of 3. All right, are you ready to try one more? Okay, this time we have a 4-digit dividend, and we're dividing by 39. We're seeing how many times does 6,253, what is 6,253 divided by 39? just like before, we are going to multiply 39 times 1, which is 39. We're going to double that, which is 78. We're then going to skip 39 times 5 and multiply 39 times 10. So I'm adding a 0 to 39, making 390. And then I'm going to think of half of that. All right, 390 is almost 400. So half of 400 would be 200, but it was just it was 10 short, so half of 10 is 5. So we're going to subtract 5 from 200, which would be 195. 195. All right, just like before, I can add a 0 to this, to the end, by thinking of multiplying by 10, 20, 50, and 100. Okay, so the largest chunk it looks like I can take out right now would be 3,900. And that is the same thing as multiplying 39 times 100. When I do my subtraction, I get 2,353. Now, I actually don't want my 5 there to look like it's part of the answer. That was just me regrouping, so I made it a little lower. Okay, now I'm able to think of the largest chunk that I can take out. Ooh, I can take out 1,950. I'm saying 13 minus 9 would be 4. Okay, so how did I get 1,950? I multiplied 39 times 50. So I'm going to put 50 on the outside. Now I have 403. Look, I can take out 390. When I do my subtraction, I get 13. Okay. Now, 39 times what equals 390? 39 times 10. I have 13 left over. Can I get another chunk of 39 out of that? No, I can't. So this 39 also becomes the 13 becomes a remainder. And to find my answer, I simply add 100 plus 50 plus 10, which would be 160. 160 with a remainder of 13. Now we're going to check our math. We're going to make sure we did our division correctly. I'm going to multiply 160 times 39. 9 times 0 is 0. 9 times 6 is 54. 9 times 1 is 9, plus 5 would be 14. I'm going to come down to the next row. I put my placeholder 0. 3 times 0 is 0. 3 times 6 is 18. Carry my 1. 1 times 3 is 3. Plus 1 would be 4. Add my two partial products. 0, 4, 12, 6. 6,240. But don't forget, I have to add my remainder of 13. 3, 5, 2, 6. 6,253. And look at that. It looks like my answer was correct. Excellent. I got the dividend. Okay, so I just showed you how to use the partial quotients method. I also left one more problem for you to try on your own. Thanks for watching. Remember, partial quotients is just another tool in our division strategies tool belt.